Okay, so as we already mentioned, we routed the hoses for the transmission cooler. You can see that they've been tightened down to the hard lines. They're pushed as far into the center of the vehicle as possible to get them away from the starter and then away from the exhaust, which is typically running down in this area here. They route along the X. We've got the zip ties there. You notice we haven't snipped the ends of the zip ties off yet because we might have to adjust the lengths of the hoses a little bit. So we left those a little bit loose, and then once we've tied the hoses into the cooler and the hoses are positioned the way we want them, we'll come back in, fully tighten the zip ties, and then snip the excess off. You can see it comes around the front of the engine. You can see underneath the air conditioning hoses that we previously routed, on the outside of the center sphere, and then routed here. You can see under the AC lines, and then out the front, with one hose just barely peeking out beyond the condenser because our transmission cooler is going to be mounting here, so it will have to make a turn and go into the fitting, and then a little extra length on this hose because it will mount to the bottom port of the transmission cooler, which is right here. We've pre-assembled it to a certain degree. What we've done is the mounting brackets on the lower part of the condenser, you can see here, there's two sets of holes. It's in the top set of holes with the 90-degree bend with the square hole. It's going to point towards the outside, and again this will mount to the headlight plate eventually. And then we've got the top one on the outside set of holes. We're using the lower hole, and then on the inside what we're about to do is use the upper hole to bolt it to the bracket, the existing bracket on the chassis, which is right here. So we'll go ahead and slide that through the cooler, through the bracket, and then into the chassis bracket. What we're going to do is we'll let that hang for a second. Then what we'll do is we'll tighten that down with the 5/32 Allen socket adapter on the ratchet and a 7/16 wrench. And then again, what's going to happen here is this tab and this tab will mount to the headlight mount plate, which will eventually be in place. And we'll also, at this point, set the fittings into the side of the transmission cooler. The larger side will go in. This one here on the top will point almost level, maybe down a little bit, and then the hose goes right into that. This one down here on the bottom, once we put some Teflon tape on it, both these will get Teflon tape. Put Teflon tape on these, it will point in the upward direction so that the hose can route over the top of the bracket and then beside the radiator and then towards the back of the car. And what that will do is prevent kinks in the hoses once the aluminum panel is in place.